We
does, of
got some
course.
pretty good new music this week.
We do. So we do.
You know what? I was listening to the Nas.
Hmm.
Man, Nas is on the roll, man. It's effortless.
You want to know what it is? Is that what Hit Boy has done is essentially like he's answered the question that all the Illmatic fans have answered, which is like, why don't you just make Illmatic again? And really, what you really don't want to hear is Illmatic. Is what you want to hear Nas is like be nostalgic over like really dope break loops and samples, because that's what Illmatic is. And that's what Hit Boy keeps on delivering for Nas. And I mean, and you're seeing the results of it. And now he's comfortable to the point that he's pretty much talking about, yeah, I don't even practice no more. Pretty much when me and Hit Boy do it, it's pretty much how he's talking, you know?
You know, now that you mentioned that and mentioned Illmatic and breakbeats, he sounds as, I mean, I know people are going to take this probably way out, but he sounds as relaxed as he did back on Illmatic. It sounds real fluid and real natural. And as great of an MC as he was on It Was Written, I don't feel like he sounds as relaxed on It Was Written as he did on Illmatic or as he does now.
There's definitely more pressure. You want to know what? I thought about something. You got to look even within his own camp of the firm. AZ released Do or Die in 95.
Mm-hmm.
Do or Die went gold. Sugar Hill, the single, went platinum. Nas didn't do that with Illmatic, so there was more pressure applied, like with It Was Written. So not
That's
as
crazy.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, not as comfortable. But what I would also submit to you is that, and here's what I realized. When you're listening to Nas on Illmatic and It Was Written, you're hearing pretty much Nas's first 20 years of his life.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say, man, I want to brief people up on what we're gonna do on the show today. We're gonna talk about this new music, but what Coop and I have done, we've taken a side about this KRS and Big Daddy Kane versus. Not picking a side as far as like who we
Yeah,
rooting
I don't
for,
think we're
whatever,
taking
whatever.
time. Yeah.
I took on 20 Big Daddy Kane tracks. Coop took on 20 KRS One tracks, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna match those up. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
go track for track. Shout out to Casino Life in the room. He said, "No one rocks a crowd like KRS One. He's the father of hip hop performers." Coop and I just saw KRS One rock him, Big Daddy Kane, and Kumo D rock the mic,
We
and
did. We were great.
yeah, live, and you know what? Both of them really tore it down, man. Rakim's my guy. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I got
Rakim, man, those KRS One and Kane really just sucked the air out of the building after they performed. What up, Andre Shashir? He said, "What up, fellas? The Terminator. What
what
up?
up.
What's going on? What's going on?" So, yeah, we're talking about the new Nas record that just dropped. What's the name of that song again, Cool?
It's called Big Nas.
Big Nas. That's what it's called.
So what I was saying is that Illmatic and It Was Written is really the first 20 years of Nas's life, essentially, like what
Right.
his thoughts, ideas, and opinions. What you're really hearing from King's Disease 1 and 2 and now moving forward is is the last 10 years, like the prior 10 years. Like you're hearing like what happened after Life is Good up until now, really like in a fully
Mm-hmm.
fleshed out form. And like you said it yourself, his go to is the nostalgic rap, and he's the best nostalgic rapper ever. And really, he's explaining what his life has been like for the past decade, and which is kind of funny. That's kind of what he did on the Illmatic, and It Was Written. He kind of explained what life was like from pretty much from about like 8 or 9 to about 20.
He's made
And
his
so,
current life interesting too. It reminds me of, and I know we always, these guys are synonymous with each other, but one thing that Jay Z did really well on American Gangster is it felt like it was the grown up version of the guy that was on Reasonable Doubt, right? Like after all this stuff, but on a corporate level, and it was like the older Jay Z looking back at that life. But Nas has found a way to actually do that while continuously moving forward with his life. You know what I mean? In a way that is not about the streets, it's not about anything, but it's like the older Nas giving it to you like the younger Nas did, but talking about things that are going
yeah,
on now.
perspective. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he's giving it to you. That's yeah, no, we're saying the same things. I think we're expressing the same sentiment, just like from a different angle.
yeah. No,
But
I'm
he's
agreeing
very
with you totally. I'm just saying that,
yeah.
Nas has found that pocket that I feel like Jay found for 1 second. and I think this is something that Nas can continue to grow on.
No, he's on the run, and you want to know what I like about like all the singles, at least that we're going to talk about, is like I enjoy all the singles, but I get the feeling from all. I mean, I wouldn't even call them singles. I would call these like heat seekers.
Mm-hmm.
Like all three of these records that we're about to talk about, like the releases from the artists, like starting off with Big Nas, they're all the type of records make you feel like, oh, they got some real heat coming because this is nice.
My man Don in the room, shout out to Don. He said the new Nas is heat. I know you gentlemen are partial to comp.
It's some heat, but it's the type of heat that for the type of run that he's on, it makes you feel like, man, it's gonna be like the 6th or 7th best record on the project. You know
Don
what I mean?
says, I know you gentlemen are partial to Conway the Machine. It's nice. But Nas might be the best right now. He said Nas might be the best right now. Is that possible? Is it possible that Nas is the best MC in the game?
If we're talking total MC in the game, we can have that conversation. But if we're just talking about like who we need to be talking about over the last couple of years as a lyricist, like definitely Conway. And we're not leaning towards Conway. We're actually just giving him his just due.
Right.
And I think like the BET Hip Hop Awards just showed that like he's not getting his just due. So like we're not fans. I mean, I am a fan. But we're giving him his appropriate respect. Like he's top notch.
Well, see, the thing is, do you give LeBron the MVP at this point in his career when you got someone that's in the prime of their career, like let's say Giannis, putting up the numbers they're putting up? I don't know.
It's gonna be hard, but how about this? I would call Nas right now the artist of the year. I don't know if he's the MC of the year because you could argue that like guys like Conway and AZ and Sky Zoo come to mind have put in arguable better lyrical performances. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Like actual like a hip hop quotable, noteworthy type of stuff per se. You would say,
mm-hmm.
You know, because when I listen to like King's Disease 2. I think most of the quotable stuff, like lyrically, is on the first two records, The Pressure and Death Row East, and then on Store Run and Moments, and then on Count Me In, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's funny, man, at this point in Nas's career, he has found the way to make better songs. It ain't even really about Huh?
And he's a great song maker now.
Yeah,
like
he's a great song maker
2-3
now.
years, Mike. I mean, yeah.
Harry H said, been waiting on the Friday episode. Bless up. Andre Shashir says, is October 14th the new album? Is that what people are saying? Is it?
So people keep saying that. Did you check up on Mike? Did you check up on that?
He posted that. He posted something about new music, and the new music was like on the 7th. But yeah.
This is the music. I mean, hold on. What's today? Well,
no. They're saying the masterclass is coming on the 14th. Hopefully, it's a whole album. It's I think Hit Boy is kind of hinting to a masterclass album. Hold on. Let me look at this. I don't want to sit there and just be saying shit.
Let's be riffing, right?
Yeah. Let's just do this in the moment. Yeah, we'll go back and do even more research on it. But yeah, Masterclass is coming on the 14th. And we don't really know exactly what Masterclass is at this point. Let me ask you about the Conway record. Since we're talking about Conway. What was your thoughts on that?
It was another heat seeker. Like as a fan of both of these guys, these were the type of records where I was like, well, for how they've been hitting both of them separately in separate ways the last couple of years,
mm-hmm.
These are heat seekers. Like they're dope ass records, and they're the type of records that it's like, no, that's not even about to be like one of the top 3 or 4 or 5 songs on the album. Like I think long term about it, like when those guys like release songs like that, it's like these are the type of guys that take records like these because they're so great at what they do, and like be like, you want to know what? I'm not even sure if I want that to go on the album. You know,
they're in the room saying that you missed My Bible as the quotables. Yeah.
Oh, you want to know what my Bible? No, you're right. My Bible has some quotables too. That's my bad.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
Well,
I'm not perfect. I named some viable records. You know what I
well,
mean?
this is why we do live programming. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
get to catch
No. I
ourselves and all
appreciate the
that.
chin check. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to us going through this Big Daddy Kane and KRS One possible verses list. For the people who are just getting in the room, I'm taking Big Daddy Kane's 20. I went and picked 20 from Big Daddy Kane, and Coop picked 20 for KRS. I must say, man, it was great just going through Kane's catalog and
Hold on. No.
you know,
Before we do that,
yeah, we're not gonna start that. Go ahead.
right. I want to know what are your thoughts on Piano Love? Because I think okay, because so I'm gonna say this. I feel like this is something that's more in the vein of something that I like hip hop wise. It's Alchemist. It's Conway.
Yeah,
So I wasn't overly impressed, but I thought it was a dope record. You know
I'm
what I
with
mean?
you. It felt like a dope record that would be on the album somewhere, tucked in or whatever. And see what Griselda has done to us at this point. They can't put out singles unless it's like a single banger. So we want to
What do
hear
you
full
mean?
projects from these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like we
What
don't
do you
want.
mean?
What I mean is we don't want to hear one song at a time. They've put out so many projects. It's like when they release music, we're looking for a whole pack of music.
So what I've noticed about Conway is that this is kind of Conway's motion when he's about to do like a project, I think. So he does this. So I think last year Lemon was that, you know?
Yeah, but
And
Lemon's a
so
banger.
no, Lemon is epic.
Yeah, Lemon's a banger. That was different. That's what I mean. Like we want to hear a single from you guys if it's a banger.
So
Yeah,
this is not Lemon. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying, but it is a dope ass record. When I heard Lemon, I was like, oh, it's like, oh,
Oh yeah.
well. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
some
oh,
other
so
shit is
whole
coming.
problem. So it's whole problem. Yeah, it's a whole problem.
We're gonna get to the Currency too because that's a full album. But what
Yeah.
did you think about the Cordae record?
I was impressed. I liked it. I told you I enjoyed it. I really liked the record.
I
You know,
liked it too.
I didn't listen to it multiple times. I only listened to it once.
I listened to Super like 3 times. I did. I
No,
liked
you
it.
want to know what, Mike? I was actually saying to myself, like, no, like I'm gonna play this record again. This is the kind of record that you kind of put on rotation. I can see people like I look at everything in terms of the scene of like what can people do to this record? It's like, well, you can ride to this record and walk into the club and hear this record and feel good about it at the same time. Or even if it was playing like at your favorite hookah lounge or like however it is that you get what I'm saying? It's like I hear that record in that zone on that level. And I enjoyed it. It's a dope record. I told you all three of these records are dope in different ways. You want to know what it is? It's three artists comfortable in their lane.
Yeah. What
And
I was gonna say
hold
about
on.
the Cordae. Go ahead.
No. And we're going to talk about the fourth because Currency is comfortable in his lane. Like there's something to be said about being comfortable,
Hmm.
about doing what you're doing, and then being great at it. You
Andrew
know,
keeps asking if we listen to the Don Toliver. I fuck
I
with
haven't
Don
yet.
Toliver. I like Don Toliver a lot. I didn't get a chance to listen to it today. I know we run a hip hop show, so I figured we weren't going to talk about it. So I went ahead and was listening to other things. K Thompson's in the room. He said, "Y'all come across that Loot album yet? We got to put some time in on that too." Um, from Carolina, right?
Right.
Yeah, we got to get in on that too.
No. We do.
Yeah,
You
we
want to know?
really
Y'all are
dedicated
funny.
this show to Kane and KRS, and these,
No,
pieces of music just popped up, and then Currency popped up. You know what? I want to talk about Currency for a second too, man, because his consistency over the years, and I think when we were on the phone earlier, I likened him to a Devin the Dude with his consistency and just being able to, service his audience and his market like he does. But I think people like Currency, Wiz, and I know last week we were having a discussion about people in that, I guess, in that Meek Mill era of, I guess, of releases. And I say Currency's way before that. But we don't talk about Currency and where he stands in the digital era, I would say. But I think he has his place. He's a dope MC. He's done things that are unorthodox for the region that he comes from. I mean, really, as a New Orleans MC, just being from Louisiana, period, he's got to be up there with the work that he's put in. I mean, he goes all the way back to the No Limit days, Cash Money days, and then he's continued to rebuild himself and reinvent himself. I'll say it that way. Like Currency's special.
Where do you want me to start? Like with Currency, or
Start with the album.
okay, I really enjoyed the album. I was impressed by it. You brought up Devin the Dude. I brought up Kid Cudi. We brought up two guys who have big cult followings who were widely consistent with their projects. And so Currency is on that level, but I would tell you I actually prefer Currency to both of those guys.
I prefer Currency over Kid Cudi. I'm with you on that. I don't know about Wiz. I got to think
Um,
about that.
I prefer Currency over Wiz, over Devin, and over Cudi,
Mm.
and over Meek actually. And so we're gonna get into some reasons why. You want to know why? Like when you listen to Currency's project and you enjoy it, Currency makes you feel comfortable. Like my man Currency project just dropped. Y'all need to listen to it like you know him, because
Mm.
he does an excellent job of bringing you into his world. Other people aren't bringing you into his world. He's responsible for it, and he executes that, and he
Even when he
executes
has
it all.
features, when he has features, he brings them into
Oh no, no,
Currency's
no! They
world.
come in to do, yeah. They come in to do some Currency type stuff,
Yeah.
and so you literally, and so I immediately thought about this, and you actually, you said it out your own mouth. When I heard the first track, the title track, Still Stoned on Ocean, I was like, this sounds like Currency.
Yeah. He's
Like
one of
this
those
sound like
artists that has a sound like Slick Rick has a sound. Like you hear a beat
yeah,
and you
I'm
know it's
like this
Slick
sound
Rick
like
shit.
Currency shit. And Mike,
Yeah.
it's Friday. I'm in Atlanta. I'm like, we about to ride.
Yeah.
You know? And you already know what time it is. Like Mike. So all these people complaining about Meek's album. Tell me Meek album make you feel that way anytime when you started off, because that's the point that I was trying to make. I'm waiting for Meek to bring us into his world and make us feel something and have a consistency with something. The Currency makes us feel every time.
We're
And
gonna
he's
get
one
the
of those
Meek
guys.
fans
It's like
all
if you
over
like
us,
Currency,
man.
when you hear that first record and it starts playing, you like, I'm riding to it. Then you look at the track list; it's only like 11 songs, 40 minutes or something like that. You're like, yeah, man, like come on.
To piggyback off of that, I don't know who Meek is as an artist because he kind of piggybacks off of other sounds, other flows. You know what I'm saying? Like
Ooh.
Championships to me was a DJ Khaled type of album where you got these high price samples, you got these big features, and the features made the record. Like the record with Drake, that sounds like a Drake record. You know what I'm
So
saying?
Mike,
What's free? That's clearly Biggie shit, but Jay and Ross took over that. Like I don't know, and even the Cardi B record that's on Championships, that sound like a Cardi record. So yes, it's great for artists to have an identity, and Currency
mm,
is the epitome of that.
mm-hmm.
Currency has a, like you said, it's like the Slick Rick thing, or Busta Rhymes even had that for a minute. Like when you would hear a certain beat, it sounded like, oh, that's a Busta Rhymes beat when he was doing the calypso type stuff.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what I'm
no.
saying? Like it's great when you have an artist that's like that and you know what you're gonna get and they give you Currency sounding records. Rick Ross does that. You can hear a beat and you be like, yo, that's a Rick Ross record.
See, but it's not just that he does it consistently, and he does
Mm-hmm.
it at a fairly high level. As in, like, like what he did today. It's like I felt the same way about when I listened to Cudi's last project. It's like, well, I don't know how to rate it in terms of where it falls in his catalog, because he consistently like gives you like dope music,
He giving you fours every time,
giving you fours all the time. And it's
huh?
like when I started writing this, I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be higher than a four. But after I listened to the first couple tracks, I was like, yeah, it's another four from Currency. And it's like, and you have to respect that. You know how hard it
Yeah.
is to do that.
He
And
giving you
so
15 and 10 night in, night out.
I mean, Mike, no, no, no. I wouldn't even call it 15 and 10. I would call it more like 17 and 8.
Okay. Night in,
Yeah.
night out.
And I'm going to tell you why, because here's why Currency is consistent. Like he tells you why. I got two quotes from two of his songs. Uh, on Game Tapes 2, he says, "Stop wearing clown wigs. Be who the fuck you is."
Mm.
Like he's consistent. He's saying like I'm me and like I'm always me with this. That's part of why I win. And another thing he says on High, if your rhyming is timeless, you ain't never too old. And he's right. Because when I was listening to him today, it's like, I was like, man, how long? Mike, you had to tell me. I was like, how long have I been listening to Currency? It's like a
Again,
long ass time.
I could see Currency continuously making records like this and continuously putting out albums until he's 50 something. That's
It's
why I think
perfectly
about
fine.
Devin the Dude. You know what I mean? Like I could,
Perfectly fine.
yeah. And you know, people will continue to go to his shows if that's what he wants to do. He always is going to have an audience because, like you said, that consistency and his ability to just not really have to, and I say this in the best way possible. He doesn't have to live up to a super big record. And sometimes that's a great thing for an artist.
It's a beautiful
It's
thing.
a beautiful thing. You
So,
can just stay there and always
so,
stay there.
so you're with me. You think this album is a solid 4, right?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
So, right. So I'm gonna tell you that like this is one of those projects because it's time for us to like really dig in and do like our like ratings soon. This is one of those projects. Although I'm giving it a 4 right now, I can see myself bumping it up and giving it a higher rating because I'm gonna tell you what. As we were like doing our pregame, and I was like writing down like the tracks on the album that I enjoyed that I thought were dope. I just wrote down like most of the album. I like Still Stoned on Ocean, High, Ball Harbor Brunch, Angels on the Hood, The One, Freezer. Freezer's the shit.
Yeah, man. I think
Bad
this could just
Decisions.
go up.
Bad Decisions is dope. I'm like, hold on, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm like, that's 7 records. He only gave us 11. And the
No.
rest of the records ain't bad. Those are just the ones that I liked. And I'm like, no, I'm like, I might end up giving him higher than a 4. It's just like I really only had to listen to it like 1.5 times today.
Andre Shashir says Meek's album is not good. Andrew says Love Man on the Moon 3. Harry H says before West Side Gun, Spitter was curating his tapes as art pieces. That's real. Miss Mo says, what do y'all think about that Stove to God new single and video?
Hold on. First of all, you got to back up. Everybody hit me with a lot of information. Come on. Stove has a new single. Mike, we might have to end the podcast right now so I can play the record. That's the first thing that I'm doing.
Stove is your guy, man. Stove is your guy.
I told Mike his hook game. Mike, people are like has an MC and his hook game and personality. It's the rhetoric, Mike. It's the same thing Conway's kind of suffering from, but it's like I'm like, fuck all that. He's dope.
We're going to check that out. Are you ready to go into this Big Daddy Kane and KRS versus?
I want to cover what everybody else said right quick because I didn't even catch all that because I blacked out after the whole Stove thing. Like when they said like Stove has a new single and video, I was like, okay, didn't catch that.
Now, Harry H said that before West Side Gun, Spitter Currency, he was curating his tapes as art pieces. Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy that he says that because I have West Side Gun, I have WSG sitting over here in stars because that's what I realized today. He's kind of like Louisiana or the South version of West Side in a lot of ways. He's just not as flashy as West Side is. He's more low key.
He's a better rapper than West Side too, I think. Respectful.
I'll give Currency that. Yeah, we'll say that. But as far as like when he's talking about the curation of the projects, but also like I wanted to bring up something. Currency's a great beat selector at West Side, like West Side is. That's one of the things I was thinking today. It's like they know what beats to pick that work for them, and that's one of the beautiful things about picking up their projects. And they're both really, really consistent. And there is like a curation and a narration, and like it's bigger than even like the shit that they talking because it's like they're not talking too heavy, but it's heavier than you realize because they're trying to piece something together for you. So all of those comparisons are very valid.
Yeah. You know what? Don brings up a point. He said, Meek Miss, excuse me. I'm starting to feel bad for the brother. Would love to hear your thoughts on Dave East. You know what? Would you put Dave East ahead of Meek Mill as far as like a rapper? I don't know. Dave East don't have the records that Meek has, but who would you say is the better rapper between the two?
I'm probably more likely to pick up East Project right now than Meek Project, but I'm probably going to say Meek to me has more talent and is the better rapper inherently. Okay. But it's like it's not about that, Mike. Like look at a guy like Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at what Jimmy Butler's done with his talent. Like he's become like he's become somebody that's worthy of like talking about for Hall of Fame consideration at least. Like that
Yeah.
wasn't his trajectory. Like All Star wasn't even his trajectory. Hall of Fame consideration wasn't like it's about the work that you put in, and
I
so
love
like
Jimmy
he's
Butler.
I love
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler. I
Jimmy
love the way
Butler
he
put in the
plays.
work.
He's old school. Right. And so it's about the work that you put in. And so like you can never knock the guys that put in work over the talent. You know? You can't.
So you don't think that Meek put in the work?
I mean, where are all these fours from Meek that Currency has? Where's the charisma, Mike? Because I told you, like when I was listening to Currency's album, I'm like, oh, he talking the way Meek talking kind of, but like I enjoy it more. I believe it more. I like it more. I want to kick it with Currency.
You know, when we see that Meek posts a lot on social media, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and Drake has given him that title of Twitter fingers that has continued to plague him throughout his career. But yeah, it's like you see Meek out here doing other things, and you're not with the person 24/7, but based on the music and based on what you see him constantly putting out there to the public, he seems unfocused when it comes to music.
No.
Um,
So what I'm saying is that like so for all this social media activity he does, what I'm saying is like this is still like some rap shit. So it's like, but are you like cool though? Like is it cool to kick
yeah.
it with you? That's why I was telling you. Like I was riding the Currency shit. It's like you want to know what I want to pull up with Currency.
No, I feel you, and
You feel
there
what
is
I'm
a cool
saying?
factor
Like
that is
he
missing.
makes you feel that way, and it's like Meek's active with it, but that's what I'm saying. Is like, is that for show? Like, are you really cool though?
No,
You know
you're
what
right.
I'm saying? Like, are you cool? Can I pull up on you? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these dudes, Mike. Like, I want you to understand. Like me and I done pulled up on Method Man and Redman before. Like it was a long time ago, and like they weren't like the mega stars that they are now. But it's like, you know what I mean? This is still rap. Like cats kind of got to feel like that they can touch you still, even if you're untouchable. Like Mike, I've had multiple run-ins with Nas. Like he's been humble and like kind every single time, like at different
Yeah.
points.
Darnell Lee says Meek sold under 100,000. I think 80,000. So he's not that guy.
Hold
And
on,
it's
Mike. Didn't
interesting.
you say? Hold on. Didn't you say DJ Academics let us know that? I didn't even watch the Academics thing. You said Academics
Yeah,
let everybody know
academics
that.
was just talking about the fact that Meek sold 80,000 the first week, and he did bring up a good point. You got guys like G Herbo and guys like shit. What's wrong with me?
Polo G.
Polo G. I'm
Yeah, you
sitting there
bought up.
thinking
You
about
bought
G.
up Polo
Yeah,
G.
Polo G did like 150 the first week. You know what I'm
Hold on, Mike.
saying?
You bought up Polo G. You bought up Lil Dirt.
Lil
You bought
Dirt,
up Lil Baby.
Lil
You bought
Baby,
up.
G
You bought up
Herbo.
Turbo.
Yeah, these are the guys that are
Oh,
actually. If
Mike,
if we
and
want
you're
to talk
right,
about
Mike.
numbers, if we
Mike, I can remember a couple of years ago when Polo G did like 15, 20K the first week. You're right.
Yeah,
I
same
remember
thing with
that.
G Herbo. G Herbo was doing like
Turbo.
20,000 the first week or whatnot. I mean, and not to mention what NBA YoungBoy continues to do. And I know I said that on the last show, but that's
Well,
just a change of the guard. Guys like Lil Uzi, they're doing numbers. If this
see,
is about numbers, you know what I'm saying?
but
And
they're also doing the work.
they
The
are.
work. They
They
put in the work. Like G Herbo and Polo G. These last 3 years, like it doesn't matter what you think about them as MCs or think about their album. They've been working.
yeah.
You know,
Hey,
like this is their job. They're working hard at their job. Like, don't men want to come home and be commended for that?
got to, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of, if you feeling where they're coming from with it, you can't